So it's your turn to make a presentation. Well, here's what I'd like for you to do. Whether it's presenting to the team, the executive board, or an upcoming very large conference, I would like for you to do what I do, and that is take a walk before you do anything else. Or if you're not able to walk, think in a quiet place. Please, please don't go right to your computer visuals, but instead, on your walk, visualize these 3 things and think about them and only them. Number 1, what's your audience mindset? Number 2, what's your key message? And number 3, how you'll begin and end. An area a lot of people just kind of throw away. This is what the pros do all the time, and you can do it too. Number 1, really, really think about your audience mindset. Even if you've presented to them many times, like to your team even. Visualize them, their faces, and where they will sit, and think about what's important to each one of them. Your presentation to the team is always a chance to motivate, to applaud something good they just did, to share the information that you have, because people really like that, and any other news, because they like that too. And then finally, interpret and help them understand what that news means to them, but really think about your team. Or let's imagine that you're presenting to a higher level, an executive board maybe. This is an audience that I would still like for you to visualize each one of them as they enter the room and as they sit down. And remember that they will have to make a decision about what you're saying. They are listening for how they're going to convince the next person that they have to tell about it. So this is a great time to kiss. That's keep it simple, silly, so that they can put it in a form that's very easy to pass along. That's how leaders listen. Or maybe it's your chance to present to a large conference of learners, people who want to learn about what you do or be motivated by you and your work. Again, visualize the type of attendee that comes to that conference, or find out about the typical attendee, why they're attending and what their life and business and goals are. Second, visualize your key message. What are the common problems? Too much, too fast, too apologetic. This is what I hear all the time. Don't let that be you. Too much, too fast, too apologetic. Do you say too much? Are you losing your key message in oodles of detail? Here's a little exercise I like to do. Imagine that you know that the fire alarm is going to go off for a fire drill. Just for a fire drill, but you know you're never going to see your audience again. They're just going to go away and dissipate out in the building. What would you say, given that situation, if you knew that you only had a few seconds to get across your key message? And think about that and repeat it. Keep it very, very clear, because your listener needs that emphasis and that repetition. They're not hanging on your every word. And then have it energy so that you can remember your key message. Write it on a card, highlight it, repeat it in the PowerPoint slide, or even have the audience repeat it with you. If you don't know your message, who will? For example, recently I was honored with coaching the top 12 finalists of innovative ideas in a large healthcare organization. They were very excited about presenting their innovative ideas to the top leaders in the healthcare system, the CEO, the CNO, the CFO, the CMO, 15 people who were going to vote for their idea. And as we were practicing and they were talking about the idea, I would say, well, now, you know, what's the point? What's the benefit? And they said, well, it improves the patient experience here at our hospital. And we talked about that. What does that mean to the leader? Not too much. You've got to make that patient experience a really strong benefit, such as my key message is that this idea will increase our new patient numbers by 20%. So keep the ideas firm and clear. Or here's another example of a key message: competing, not conflicting, while saving us money. Or how about this one? Get serious about software. That one was actually used by a client of mine. Or my own key message when I talk about presenting is credibility plus charisma equals connection for the speaker. So to reinstate that key message. Make sure people remember it, and they need help. They're not always paying attention to your every word. So use what we call connective language. Might sound like this. And the reason this is important to you is it connects it for them. Or, and this ties back to our goal because. And the last thing I'd like for you to remember when you have a chance to present is to visualize how you're going to begin and end. People just throw this great opportunity away. Here are some actual openings I've heard. I was at some required computer training for one of the organizations I work with, and the speaker said, "Thank you all for being here on this sunny April morning. I'm sure there are many other things you could be doing." And I'm thinking, well, yeah, don't make it worse. I have to be here today. Or how about this one? This is a real example from a graduation banquet at a major university. And the leader of the department got up at the end of the meal and stood there and said, "Well, it's just me between you and dessert, so I'll be brief." "Oh, I see you already have dessert." "Well, I'll really be brief." And believe it or not, this comment was made by the speaker, a top-level leader, while he held a half-empty glass of wine. You just have to mention he's no longer employed there. So practice your first sentences. Make sure they're positive and directly related to your purpose. And last, don't throw away the ending. Don't say, "So that's it, folks," or "That's all I have to say." But review your key message one more time, and then you can say thank you. Nobody cares more than you about how your presentation's going to go. Believe me, nobody's lying awake nights worried about your speech. But you have to. I mean, who used the boardroom before you? Did they set the lights? Did they leave a bunch of trash? Are the right number of chairs there? You are in charge of your stellar presentation. So in conclusion, honor what professional speakers call the privilege of the platform. Visualize. Don't just give a data dump, but visualize the audience's mindset, your key message, and how you will begin and end. And my suggestion is do it on that long walk you take before you write anything down. Set yourself for success with each program you present, because you never know who's watching, who's commenting, and who could be recommending you for future projects and promotions. I often know because I'm in on these meetings. So that's what to do when it's your turn to present to the team or to the board or to the conference. For more ideas, please visit my website at www.cyndimaxey.com. My best wishes for a stellar presentation the next time it's your turn.